Get some free giveaways today to help you with your technical analysis. Click on the link below to go to my website and you can download one or more of these 3 giveaways. I have an ebook on technical analysis basics for you. These are the contents of the ebook, several chapters on some basics, some indicators, some techniques, looking at gaps, looking at scale for your charts, and I've even got 2 steps to a high probability trade setup there for you. Another free giveaway is this easy candlestick pattern guide to the major candlestick reversal patterns, bullish and bearish, diagrams, descriptions of how they should be read and in what context. And a third giveaway, I have this Elliott Wave structure guide, 3 pages giving you all of the Elliott Wave structures with all of the rules you need to know and diagrams of the ideal form for each. Motive structures on 1 page and all of the corrective structures on 2 pages. So click on the link below and get any one or all of these 3 giveaways for free. Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with a technical update for Bitcoin for you. Can't give you Elliott Wave, I did that this morning for my membership at Pure Elliott Wave. So if that's what you're wanting, you can head over there, but it's by subscription. I don't give that one away for free, but I do give you this for free. And long time no see. I haven't given you an update on this on the channel for goodness, about a month. I've been hectically travelling through New Zealand, seeing as many of my family as I can, and I always think I can do more than I end up being able to do. It was so exhausting, and then I had a 30+ hour journey yesterday back from Auckland back into Europe. I'm in Rome at the moment. Anyway, it looks like Bitcoin's found a low a couple of weeks ago, and it's on its way, I expect, up to new all-time highs. I'm going to give you technicals on the weekly and the daily. We've got a couple of hammer candlestick patterns hammering out a low around strong support at 73,800. This support was created when this previous resistance along here was created back in 2024. Resistance is created, pull back to test support, break through, move up and away, come back down to test support, 2 nice tests of support with strong bullish candlestick patterns at these lows, and now a little bit of strength up off these lows suggests that this low for the week beginning 6th of April is likely to remain sustained for the long term, I expect now. That hammer candlestick pattern on the week beginning 6th of April has some support from volume. This volume here is stronger than the previous 4 weeks. So although volume is overall declining, for the short term, this did have a little bit of support from volume, and that supports the view that that low may be sustained for the long term. On balance, volume is within a rather wide range, low technical significance at the weekly time frame, but if we get a break above resistance or below support, that would provide a signal. It would not be a strong signal, but worthwhile keeping an eye on that. And let's see if on balance volume can trace out a tighter range. The previous upward trend to the high in January 2025 did not reach very extreme, but it did reach extreme. At the weekly time frame, no clear trend is indicated at this time. The DX lines are whipsawing and the ADX line is declining. If there has been the resumption of the larger upward trend, this is a lagging indicator here based upon a 14-week average. It will take time to turn around and show us if there is a new trend. At the daily time frame for the high in January, RSI had reached overbought and exhibited short-term single bearish divergence. The bear market down to the low of the week beginning 6th of April fully relieved those extreme conditions. RSI managed to reach below 50. It's still well in neutral territory. There is plenty of room for a new trend to develop. Money flow also reached overbought and exhibited short-term single bearish divergence. It's not below 50, but it is still well within neutral territory. Those extreme conditions have absolutely been relieved by the bear market. Conditions are now set for the resumption of the larger bullish run. ATR is showing a little bit of a decline now as price moves up off that low. Bitcoin's bullish runs do usually start with quite a lot of weakness. That does make the lows very difficult to identify. Technicals at the daily. I think last time I was here there on this channel, I identified this flag pattern. I gave you a target of 68,950. That was not met. Price fell a little bit short. It did continue lower to 74,426.93, the low on April 7th. It looks like that low is now going to be sustained for the long term. I have a best fit channel, these two parallel blue lines containing this bear market. The channel has been obviously breached, so let's get rid of the channel. Let's put a new channel in this upward movement. I'm going to be really conservative in how I draw this channel. I want it to have as shallow a slope as possible, so I'll draw the first trend line from this high to sit along these highs and pull a parallel copy down here to sit, probably not on that low. If I pull it down to sit on this low here, then this is a reasonably conservative channel that contains this new upward movement. There will be a pullback to last at least a couple of weeks, maybe a month. It's not quite here yet, I expect. This is how I will know that it's likely arrived. When this channel is breached by a full red daily candlestick below and not touching this trend line, that will give us an indication that this short-term upward wave is complete for the short term, and a pullback to be about even in duration or a little bit more brief in duration than this previous upward movement would then be underway. So depending on how many days this upward movement lasts, look out for the resulting pullback to follow it to be about 2/3 the duration to even in duration. I wouldn't expect the pullback to make new lows because it does look like the low for the 7th of April is likely to remain intact. We have a strong bullish long lower wick, a bit too much of an upper wick here on the 7th of April to call this a hammer pattern, but it does have a bullish long lower wick. And 2 days later, there was a strong bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, which also has support from volume. We have bullish reversal patterns at the weekly and daily time frame. This downward movement did meet the technical definition of a bear market, in that it was 20% or more of market value reduced by, and it's defined by a series of lower lows and a series of lower highs. Within this bear market, this here was the last lowest high within the pattern, and when that was breached, that told us that the bear market was likely over and the next bullish run was likely underway. Along with a breach of the channel, which I had when I opened this chart, that also told us that the bear market was likely over and the next bullish run may well be underway. But don't expect price to move in a straight line. Now, sometimes it can for Bitcoin, and I expect it will at some stage in the future, but obviously for this portion of this upward movement, it's not. It's got these little consolidations along the way. Use previous resistance and support to identify where pullbacks may find support and where a pullback or a consolidation may be initiated when price hits resistance. These next pretty important resistance ahead at the round number pivot of 100,000. Overall, as price moves higher, volume is declining. That's actually not a great concern for the early phase of a bullish run for Bitcoin. If you look back at Bitcoin's really strong bullish runs, you will notice that they do tend to start off slowly. They start off slowly with weak volume and weak range. They convince you that nothing great is going to happen, and they'll do that just before it starts to really gather momentum and strength with increasing volume and range. And then it has an explosion of volatility. So this is a really, really difficult market to identify the lows because of that weak behavior up off the lows. What I can say is these bullish sessions are stronger in terms of volume than neighbouring bearish sessions. So for the short term, I'll read the volume profile as bullish. The last signal given from on-balance volume was a really weak bullish signal, weak because the yellow resistance line that was breached has quite a strong slope. There's no new range and no new signal, but let's wait to see if on-balance volume can trace out a range and we can draw technical resistance and support lines and use those as a leading indicator for a breakout from price. ADX is increasing. It's telling us there's a new upward trend at the daily time frame. This ADX line has risen from below 15, that's a low level, and it came up from below both DX lines. At the point at which it crossed over 15, it gave us the strongest bullish signal ADX can give, telling us that Bitcoin at that stage was in a new upward trend in a very early stage. There is a long way to go before this trend reaches extreme. ADX has got a long way to go before it reaches above 45, and ADX at the daily time frame for Bitcoin can reach up to 60 and above. This market has very extreme trends. RSI is nearing overbought, but when this market has a strong bullish run, this can reach deeply overbought and exhibit bearish divergence before the bullish run is going to be interrupted by anything larger. Money flow is not yet overbought. This too may reach overbought, fairly deeply overbought, and may exhibit bearish divergence before the new upward trend is interrupted by a larger consolidation or pullback. ATR is declining along with volume, so there is a little bit of weakness in this upward movement. I will expect a consolidation or pullback to result, possibly coming up a little bit sooner rather than later, maybe in another week or two. Use that channel I've drawn on the daily chart to tell you when the next pullback or consolidation has begun. Expect it will not meet the technical definition of a bear market. Expect it may last maybe 2 to 4 weeks and to not make a new low. It will relieve short-term extreme conditions before setting the stage for the next bullish run. Now, it might arrive before we see new all-time highs for Bitcoin, and if it does that, it's probably going to convince a lot of people that the previous bear market is going to continue, and it'll do that right before Bitcoin ramps up to take off to new all-time highs. That's what I'm expecting. I expect Bitcoin's probably going to have a really good year for 2025. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience. I haven't been as reliable as I would like for this channel. I've been doing some absolutely insane traveling. Unfortunately, I've got quite a lot more absolutely insane traveling coming on. As I have time, I'm going to try and give you once a week technical updates for Bitcoin, at least once a week going forward. So thank you very much for your patience.